So grinding machine. So grinding is a process of removing excess material from the workpiece. Grinding is a process of removing the excess material from the workpiece by the mechanical action of abrasive particles that are held together by an adhesive, generally in the form of a solid wheel. Okay. So next point is the wheel is known as grinding wheel. Is rotated at high speeds. Okay, so you can see this figure clearly understand. So this is a grinding wheel. It is made up of abrasive particles. This grinding wheel is mounted on the spindle. This is a mechanical surface, machined surface. So this is a workpiece. Very small amount of materials, layer by layer, 0.25 to 0.5 mm material removed from the workpiece. So this process it is called as grinding process. So in this surface grinding, so one type of grinding process. So here see, this is a top of the surface workpiece. So it is a to remove the material from the workpiece. Okay. So next we can go for the next grinding. Surface grinding is a machining process formally carried out for the producing a flat surface on the desired finish. It is called as surface grinding process. Second important point, using special pictures and format dressing devices, angular and form surface can also be finished. So you can see there are different types of grinding process. 4 types of surface grinding. So first this figure it shows that grinding wheel at point C surface, and third one is a wheel, spindle, workpiece, and work table. So these are the important A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 important parts of the grinding wheel: work table, workpiece, wheel spindle, grinding phase, and grinding wheel. So next you can take a grinding wheel, plain cylindrical grinding. So before that grinding, different types of grinding process. So first we can study the grinding wheel. What is grinding wheel? So the grinding wheel is a composed thousands of small abrasive particles held together by bonding material. Each abrasive particles acts as a cutting edge. That's why it is called as multi-point cutting tool. Grinding wheel, it is a multi-point cutting tool. And when several such particles rub against the surface of the workpiece, material is removed from the workpiece in the form of fine chips or dust particles. So components of the grinding wheel being important: the abrasive particles, the bond, pillars, and or additives. So these are the components of the grinding wheel. Next, types of abrasive. Grinding wheel is made up of abrasive. Abrasive is a thin, irregular shape and particles that acts as a cutting edge in a grinding wheel. Okay. When several hardened and thousands of such particles is bonded together in the form of grinding wheel. Okay. So there are 2 types important: natural abrasive and artificial abrasive. So natural abrasive particles means this is a important things which are available in the nature naturally. Includes sandstone, example, diamond, corundum, emery, and granite. So sandstone means solid quartz. In a natural silica, and was probably the earliest abrasive used to smooth and sharpen metals. Diamond, a crystalline from the carbon in the hardest material, even known as used in the ceramic grinding or final processing. So next is natural. Third point, corundum. Corundum relatively purely aluminum oxide, Al2O3. It is the hardest, known as a natural abrasive after diamond. Emery is a natural mineral containing corundum, aluminum oxide, and small amount of iron oxide. So this is the MD. And artificial abrasive. Artificial abrasive are manufactured abrasives that are free from the impurities and process properties better than those of the natural abrasive. Second important point, some of the common artificial abrasive material, aluminum oxide, silicon carbide, boron carbide, and the synthetic diamond and CBN. CBN means that is a cubic boron nitride. So these are the artificial abrasive particles. Example. So abrasive particles, there are two types already we have studied, natural and artificial. And how to bonding process taking place. Bonding material is an abrasive substance that binds or holds the abrasive particles together to form a grinding wheel. The process is binding the abrasive particles in which helps the bonding material is known as bonding process. So the bonding process, the most commonly used the bonding process materials are we discussed here. First one is a V3 point bond, resonant bond, and rubber bond, shellac bond, and silicate bond. Important 5 types of bonding material bond the abrasive particles. So standard designation of grinding wheel. Some designation is given. Type of abrasive, type of bond, grain and grain size, grade size, and structure, which is very important before manufacturing the grinding wheel. Standard designation of the grinding wheel defined. Type of abrasive, different types of natural or artificial, which type of abrasive particles are used to grinding wheel. Bond type, different types of bonding, I explained already, shellac bond, silicate bond, rubber bond, and this one is a resonant and vitrified. So any one out of 5 you can use any one. This is the types of bond. And size of the abrasive particle, grain size or grit size, other name is called. Next is grade and structure of the grinding. So these are the standard designation of a grinding wheel. Types of bond means there are 5 important: V3 point bond, resonant, rubber, shellac, and silicate. So V3 point bond is generally denoted by letter V. In grinding wheel you can see in the market directly V, B, R, E, S. So V means the grinding wheel, it is made up of a V3 point bond. Resonant bond, it is the designated letter B. Rubber bond, the letter is R in the grinding wheel, you can write that. And shellac bond E, silicate bond S. So that indicates for V, B, R, E, S. That means that indicates the type of bond. Shellac bond, vitrified, rubber, shellac, silicate, and according to that you can study that. So here types of abrasive, natural and artificial already you studied. And grade means 2 types of grades: the very soft, medium, hard, and very hard. 5 categories. Grade. So in the grade, A, B, C, D, E, F, G up to is the very soft grade. A, B, C, D, E, F, 6 letters up to G, A to G, very soft grade. And H to K, H, I, J, K, soft. L, M, N, O, medium. P, Q, R, S, hard. And T to Z, very hard. Letter is written on the grinding wheel. In the market you can go for see that is a bond type, grade type, structure type, every you can write it left. This one is one sentence. On that basis you have to select the grinding wheel. Very soft is A to G, soft is H to K, medium is L to O, hard is P to S, and very hard T to Z. So these are the grade. Structure means, so structure is basically spacing between the abrasive particles within the wheel. Within the wheel. Type of structure is dense or open, only 2 types. Structure number 1 to 8 is a dense, and 9 to 15 or higher it is a open. So these are all points before proceeding the grinding wheel. So written on the grinding wheel, on that basis you have to select the grinding wheel. And the specification of the grinding wheel, it is very important. The BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, is the diverse system of the specifying the grinding wheel, marking made on the wheel. The example 300 into 30 into 35. Suppose example given 300 into 30 into 35 WA 36K by V17 given in the grinding wheel. So these are the all word you can indicates. 300 means the field diameter of the wheel diameter in millimeters. Field diameter, grinding wheel diameter 300, first letter indicates. And second letter indicates into 30 means wheel thickness in mm. Wheel thickness. First one is wheel diameter, wheel thickness before or whole diameter of the accommodating the spindle. Whole diameter, spindle diameter or whole diameter 35. 300 into 30 to 35 that indicates for diameter of the grinding wheel, thickness of the grinding wheel and bore or whole diameter of the accommodating the spindle of the machine. So 3 important. Next W that indicates for the manufacturing symbol. W that indicates the manufacturing symbol for abrasive wheel. It is optional. A stands for this is a type of abrasive. Example A standard or S or aluminum oxide or silicon oxide. Different types of abrasive particles are there. Different types of. K stands for soft grade. This that indicates for the grade. And 5 is the dense structure, open and dense. There are 2 types. So here 1 to 9 is a dense structure. And he is the bond, V3 point bond, shellac bond, silicate bond, different types. He is the which is made up of a V3 point bond. And 17 is the manufacturer's private marking to identify the wheel. It is optional, it is not compulsory. So this type of writing at the time of the purchasing the grinding wheel, this type of writing written on the grinding wheel. 300 into 30 into 35 WA 36 K by V17. So every word every meaning is there. 300, 30, 35 WA 36 K by V17. So this is a specification of the grinding wheel. Specification of the grinding wheel. So next you can go for the types of grinding wheels. The different types. Straight is there. Cylindrical, straight, dish, tapered, different types of grinding wheel manufacturing. So using it depending on the work, on that basis you have to select the grinding. So next you can go for the classification for grinding wheel. Already you have come to this point. First, surface grinding. Already we have studied. So horizontal spindle type, vertical spindle type, horizontal spindle, vertical spindle with rotating. First one. Second one is cylindrical grinding. Center type, centerless and choking. Internal grinding, choke and centerless. Special purpose grinding, tool and cutter grinding machine, roll grinding machine, crankshaft grinding machine, thread grinding machine, cam grinding machine, numerical controlled grinding machine. So these are the special purpose grinding machines in the industries or factories. So next you can move for the plain cylindrical grinding, which is a plane. So this is cylinder head, workpiece, tailstock support to the other end of the workpiece. So this is the grinding wheel rotate against the workpiece. And to remove the very small amount of material from the workpiece. So plain cylindrical grinding is a machining process for grinding external cylinder surfaces of single and multi-diameter shaft. Single or multi-diameter shaft. So you can see here, clearly understand. This is a work rest. Centerless grinding machine. Centerless, there is no center. These two centers in a straight line, but workpiece center is not coincide with each other. So this is a grinding wheel. It is a regulating wheel. In between that workpiece is there. So workpiece is supported with the help of work rest table or blade. So this is a pin. Okay. So this is a centerless type grinding machine. So in case of centerless type grinding machine, this is the main important thing. So first thing is centerless grinding machine. You can see the figure clearly, understand. Central type of cylindrical grinding machine is used to grinding surface of a long slender rods that cannot to be held and rotate between the centers. Or in other words, we can say that the piece is not rotated between the centers and hence the name centerless grinding. The workpiece is not rotated between the centers and hence the name is called centerless grinding machine. In centerless grinding, the workpiece is supported by the combination of grinding wheels. One is a regulating wheel, another is a grinding wheel. The grinding wheel is larger diameter and rotates at a high speeds. when compared to the regulating wheel. Both wheels rotate in a clockwise direction condition, regulating wheel as well as grinding wheel rotating in the same direction, while the workpiece driven by the regulating the wheel rotates in the counterclockwise direction. So next important point, the grinding operation is performed by the grinding wheel only. The function of the regulating wheel control the speed rotation of the workpiece so that it does not rotate at the same speed as the grinding wheel. Okay, so this is about the centerless grinding machine. So the most application of centerline the grinding wheel or regulating the wheel are in the same plane at equal height above the machine bed. Okay, so next you can go for centerless grinding is a machining process of the grinding surfaces of the longer slender rods and that cannot to be held and rotate between the two centers in the case of plain cylindrical grinding machine. Next point, centerless grinding. So centerless grinding, in this process the grinding wheel is bigger as compared to the regulating wheel, and speed also is more. Grinding wheel speed is also that only support to the other end of the workpiece, that is the regulating wheel in function. Speed wise, grinding wheel speed is high, regulating wheel speed is less, and grinding wheel's diameter is compared to regulating wheel is more. So in between these two wheels, regulating wheel as well as grinding wheel, the workpiece supported with the help of the work rest table or work rest blade. So this is about the centerless grinding process. So you can see the line diagram. So this one is a regulating grinding wheel. The grinding wheel. It is made up of abrasive particles. Each abrasive particles acts as a cutting edge. That's why it is called as a multi-point grinding. This is a work rest table blade, workpiece, this one in that, and this one is a regulating wheel. But these two in a straight line, but the workpiece center line which is not in a straight line. So next we can go for the internal grinding. So you can see this is a hollow cylindrical internal grinding taking place with the help of this grinding wheel. Work rotation. This is the motion of the wheel. This shaft is repeated in the sleeve. Okay, but in this case internal grinding, but it is not in a straight line. It is some tapered uniform. It is not in a straight line both sides. Okay, there is some relation with the output. So that's why you can make it to remove the excess material from the workpiece in the form of dust particles with the help of grinding machine. Internal grinding machine, you can see internal grinding is a machining process used to grind the material internal surface of the rolls of various profiles like cylindrical, tapered or counter. So you can see this intimated tip workpiece, machined surface this one, and this one is a tool head, then remove the material from the workpiece. Shaping. Next we will go for the shaping machine. Grinding is completed. Next is shaper. In a shaping machine, the cutting tool is reciprocated to and fro motion across the stationary workpiece. In shaping machine, the cutting speed tool is reciprocated to and fro motion across the stationary workpiece. Next point. The workpiece is given an internal indexed wheel in the direction perpendicular to the line of action taking cutting the tool. So this is the figure which shows that shaping operation. So you can see the figure, shaping operation, table motion, wheel speed, tool wheel and tool is in a millennium machine was a work table carrying the workpiece is reciprocated to and fro across the cutting board. It is called as planing machine. This is a vertical peeling machine. So this one is a vertical column. This is a cutter. Okay. Sliding over this one. It is called as a guide base, workpiece, work table, workpiece holding table. Okay, workpiece holding table. So these are the vertical milling machine, vertical type of milling machine. Clear answer is one. Sliding member, counter, workpiece, work table, and vertical box glove. This machine is called as a slotting machine. Next, you can look for the slotting machine. Slotting is a machining process carried out for polishing the slots, sleeves, and for creating the internal and external ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Profiles of the work part. So next you can go for the broaching. What is broaching machine? My question. Broaching is a process of the removal of the material from the workpiece with the help of a broaching tool. So it is called as broaching process or broaching machine. So in broaching details of the broach. So the broaching is a machining process in which the excess material from the workpiece is removed either by pushing or pulling. Broach tool is called as, it is used, the tool used in the broaching machine, it is called as multi-point cutting tool because of cutting edge more than one. Cutting edge, smoking tool, I got broach. So next you can go for this one, tool broaching details of the broach. So you can see broaching is the machining process wherein the cutting edge tool called broach is made up of reciprocating linearly relatively to the workpiece or the U or vice versa in the direction of the tool axis.